Hi, I'm Adrienne Danrich, and this is BMI's Know Them Now video series. For me, I grew up singing with my father. My dad, Roland Johnson, sings to this day. He sang in a funk band, and I sang Aretha Franklin songs, Chaka Khan, the Funkadelics, and my career basically began at 8 years old when I sang Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman on stage in a park in St. Louis. For me, it was all these people. The beginning of my creation of my own music actually started, it came out of grief, honestly. My godfather passed away. Actually, he passed away the day of my final performance of Aida when I was singing with Tosca opera. And I will never forget the day, that day. And the first poem I ever wrote, poem that I ever considered sharing with anyone was a poem called Maybe It's Freedom, and I dedicated that to my beautiful godfather. And so I started off writing lyrics first, and it wasn't until I began to collaborate with my fantastic collaborator Dave Hall as a lyricist that I began to find my own composing voice. If I think about the people in my life right now, the composers who have touched me right now, I'd have to say that both of my collaborators, Dave Hall and Drew Heminger, have both really inspired me and encouraged me to find my own voice. And both of them also allow me to insert my opinions into the pieces that they write for me too. So that has been very helpful. And then another composer who has inspired me is Kamala Shankaram. Kamala is a singer as well who also composes. So I've called on her many times asking questions, and she's always available to assist me. And Dave, Drew, and Kamala all have this beautiful ability to use the influences of other types of music, jazz, blues, or folk. And Kamala also does electronic music, which is so exciting, which I'll try to figure out at some point in my writing career. I tend to create when I least expect it. And I'm sure you've heard other composers say that they have notes on napkins and in notes in their phone, and also creation comes at very unexpected times. For instance, waking me up out of a deep sleep to go and write a poem or write a song. And what I do then in the middle of the night is I grab my phone and I use my notes section, and so that when I awaken I can then transcribe what I have written into finale. And many times the words for me and the music come at the same time. So it's rare that I'll write a poem and then compose words and then compose melody to it. I would have to say that my first one-woman show that I wrote all by myself under commission from Cincinnati Opera, called This Little Light of Mine, the stories of Marian Anderson and Leontyne Price, which I performed over 100 times throughout the United States. Also, my new adventure, which is Music as the Message, is a musical initiative that was born out of the pandemic, and I've tried to create a space where we can all sing together, come together, talk together, and create community even in our isolation. And that is produced by the American Opera Project in association with Opera on Tap. And then my final piece that I'm so very proud of is a song that I wrote entitled Breathe, which is a song that I wrote after the murder of George Floyd. I had so much inside of me that I had no idea what to do with. And I wrote the melody and the words to Breathe, and my wonderful collaborator and inspirer, my mutual muse, Drew Heminger, wrote the music for it. And that song, to me, I was able to speak my entire heart through the words and through the music for all Black lives and all people of color who have been murdered because of systemic racism, violence, and fear. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Adrienne Danrich Soprano, and on Twitter, Adrienne Danrich, and my website, you guessed it, adriennedanrich.com. Hope to see you there.